Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today, we're going to be diving into Kaspa, our beautiful, beautiful Kaspa. Listen, guys, look, I know the market recently just exploded, but Kaspa is still holding the line. Although Kaspa did go down, a good amount, it is still holding the most relevant zone to me, which is roughly the 15-cent mark. We talked about previously how if we take it from pretty much the all-time high to the relevant bottoms, we could see 50% is roughly the 15-cent mark. It is a little bit higher, but more or less what this means is if price overall holds this area, that means buying pressure is taking over. Anything under the zero point 0.5 is a discounted price. Anything above it is a premium price. That's just how it is, right? Because the zero point 0.5 is neutral. Anything above, you're already kind of, you're paying an extra premium. But what does that mean? Well, that means, ladies and gentlemen, that people expect a breakout soon, which is what I expect too, right? And people are willing to pay extra because they know profits are around the corner. For example, if they even just say buy at 18 cents and let's say they're looking to cash out at 27 cents, that's 50%, right? If we're talking about 34 cents, that's almost double their money. And if we're talking about, over 44 cents, that is 1.5 times their money. So Caspa is still in the green for me. It is still looking fantastic. I bought a little bit more today. I do think there's a possibility that we might go into a specific candle, which would be right over here. Because when I go onto the different time frames, right, I look at the chart. Overall, there's no imbalance. There's not many things, but there is one specific candle that I'm targeting because I believe this might be the last zone to tap in. Now, the reason why I believe it's going to tap into the zone is because I believe, in the triple tap method. So we have the bottom over here. We tapped once into this weekly order block candle. And then when we break it down, right, you can see on the 6 day, there's actually the remaining imbalance is right over here, roughly at 13.5 cents. Now I am using, different time frames. Even on the 3 day, it suggests that price can come over here. There's a little bit imbalance here, but I don't think we're going to retrace that far deep. So for me personally, my bias is that it's going to tap somewhere into the 13.5 cents. Also, taking out last relevant liquidity, we could see at 14.7, we could see pretty much at 14, there's a nice overall double bottom, which I believe it's going to get swept. Now, it could go slightly lower, but more or less, this is my final target because for me, right, we are above this range. And for me, anything kind of in this area is the last thing before we can tap into before we go up. So I'm going to have another buy order roughly at 13.5 cents, but I did buy some already earlier at 14 cents. I also bought near 11.5 right when I saw reversals coming in. So I'm happy with my position. I did have some Caspa a little bit earlier in the cycle, right? I did have some earlier, but I never sold. But I decided to double down because I realized, hey, Caspa is a fantastic project, as we know. And Caspa, in terms of fundamentals, would smash Bitcoin any single day. Also, something I want to just discuss for a few minutes. There have been so many countries that are starting to adopt crypto, mainly America, but there also are other big titans trying to get involved. We know that there's also smaller countries. We know there's also crypto payments you could do for Starbucks and such in certain countries. We know in Thailand, they also love Bitcoin. We know El Salvador has a lot of Bitcoin now. Some of these places aren't going to have the biggest impact, but the fact that America is pro crypto, we've seen SEC Gary get fired, right? This is why XRP and everything has been pumping, which makes me believe fundamentals are going to be more and more relevant each cycle, right? If everything stays the same in terms of cycles, I expect fundamentals to start getting picked up heavily this cycle and probably get really respected next cycle, right? I could be wrong. A lot of things can change very quick for the better, but I do believe Caspa is going to pump a lot. I seen a comment where pretty much someone was saying like, "Hey, like what about? I don't think the normies are going to be buying this. Blah 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 blah." Guys, you have to realize that normies are going to be buying anything because when Caspa hits $1 or $1.20 or whatever it is, right? People on the internet, they're going to start saying Caspa to $100. Caspa's the new Bitcoin. Just buy Caspa and hold forever. And whether or not you believe that, it doesn't matter because the point is, if we have a typical cycle where price goes to a certain amount before it dumps and does its whole thing, then these normies are going to buy Caspa because they're going to think it's the next Bitcoin. They're going to see, oh, Caspa for $1, Bitcoin for like 150K. Oh my God, I could buy so much Caspa. You got to remember, even though we are technically retail, we're like the snipers of retail. Okay. That is the reality. And you guys got to remember a lot of institutions, companies, banks, like people with large amount of money, they come in late. A lot of people come in late that you think wouldn't mess up. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're very smart financially in terms of, when it comes to crypto, right? People see that like it's everything's rising, they get FOMO. So, for me, I believe Caspa will have a great future. I still believe Caspa's future is going to be, really, really good. It is at 4 billion market cap. I always said this at the minimum, I expect a 10x from here, 40 billion, right? If it doesn't top out the first cycle like we had last time, then, this thing might go from 40 billion market cap around a dollar 50, maybe go a little bit more like a dollar 70, dollar 80, have a 50, 60% sell off, go sideways. And then from there, that's when we go to the 100 billion, 120 billion market cap, right? I don't know 100%, right? I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you 100%. The only thing I can tell you is my personal goal is to get out during the first cycle. Okay. Because last time, historically, if we look, right, historically, there's only been one cycle. And although things were different that time, you know, uh, can never say the same thing's going to happen again until we get more confirmation. Right. When we look at Bitcoin historically, is just like, look, it's just a pump. I mean, we can even see it down here. This thing pumps, right? Oh my God, there's even a smaller cycle. I'm not doing that one. But we go from whatever, right? Then we sell off. Then again, it's the same thing. Then we sell off. Then we go up again. Then we sell off heavy. Then we go up again very heavy, right? To 20,000. Then we sell off. But this time we had a nice double top. So it was different, right? We did recover. We had multiple weeks of rejection. If we have the same thing, we have multiple weeks of rejection, then sure, we can talk business. But at the moment, it's just speculation, right? It's just speculation. And, like I said, I don't want to dive into too much into that because theory can only get you so far. The candles will tell you a bigger story when the time comes. But that is it, pretty much, ladies and gentlemen. Just a very quick update. It is still looking good for Casper, like I said. You're not too late. Buying at 15 cents, possibly waiting for 13 and a half are great deals. Like I said, this is one of those coins where, you know, it's in the higher risk category, but it's such a great reward in terms of like, technically it's not a top 10 coin. Technically, it's not Bitcoin. So people say it's a high risk. But for me, this is one of those coins where I feel like I could put in money blindly, thousands of dollars, whatever it is, even a dollar, and still return with 8 to 12x over the next few months. I'm super confident. As you know, this project's amazing. And guys, I love you so much. And I'll talk to you guys next time.